Welcome to Decrypting Mr. Robot. I'm Sadie Guinness, and as always, I'm joined by Liam Matthews.
Hello, friend.
And Tim Surratt.
Hello.
So last night's episode was so nuts, but why don't we start with Joanna? Who do you think has been calling her this whole time? Liam?
It's Mr. Robot. We know he and Tyrell were working together. We know he is up to something that Elliot doesn't know about. And he disappeared when Elliot got the phone call in the store. That was the last we saw of Mr. Robot this episode. So when Elliot was on the phone, he was listening to himself breathing.
Interesting theory. What do you think, Tim?
You know, Joanna said it herself. Why would you ever say no to Joanna? I believe her. I think it's Tyrell. And if you listen very carefully, that breathing sounds awfully Swedish, doesn't it?
Now we know that Tyrell really might be alive, but we also might have lost a few characters. So, Tim, why do you think they shot up the taqueria?
Well, they, I believe, is the Dark Army. And I think they were going after Cisco. I think Dom was onto something. The FBI put the bolo out on Cisco, and that would lead back to the Dark Army. So, pow, they went after him, and they just so happened to catch Darlene at the same time, who could also finger them. So it was a 2-for-1 attack for them.
Liam?
I think they were going for Dom. I think Dom's getting too close to unraveling the mystery for the Dark Army's taste, and they're trying to take her out.
Angela is also in a lot of trouble when we leave her this episode. Liam, who do you think is going after her in the subway?
I think it was the Dark Army. They know she's gonna snitch, and they're like, no, don't do that. I think they're coming to get her, and they're gonna, take her to safety.
Do you have any different thoughts, Tim?
I think it might be the feds, and I think they may have wired her up, and that's why she was meeting with Elliot in the subway. If you look at those ads over their shoulders in the subway, it's all about listening devices, it's about, audio. I think she may have been wired, and I think the feds were there just to check in on her and say, thanks, you're still coming with us.
It's that time again. We're gonna play another game of Fact or Fantasy. I'm gonna throw out 3 things from last night's episode, and you have to tell me if they're real or imagined.
Let's do it.
So first up, Terry Colby's dirt on Donald Trump. Tim.
You don't have to be on the inside to know that that's fact. Whether it actually happened or not, to Terry Colby, I don't know, but come on, it's Trump, it's fact. He's a doofus.
Liam?
Yeah, it's definitely fact. It seems kind of weird that Trump would have a relationship with the CTO of a tech company. But hey, they're in the circles of power. Maybe they went to the same orgy.
Fact or fantasy, Darlene was abducted as a child.
That was fact. I don't know exactly what that story was supposed to tell us, but I believed her.
What do you think, Tim?
I'll go with fantasy. There's no proof. We don't know. We've never heard about this before. And I don't believe everything she says.
This one's for all the money. Fact or fantasy, Angela and Elliot's kiss. Tim.
It has to be fact. My fanfic says it has to be fact. I want it to be true. They belong together. That's the happy ending for Mr. Robot. Angela and Elliot. That's it. Enough said.
Angela.
I like it. What do you think, Liam?
I gotta say fantasy. It was what Elliot wanted to happen rather than what really happened. The timing just was not right. Like, why would they kiss right after she just said, I'm done with you, buddy?
Don't fight true love, Liam.
I know, I'm sorry.
Well, you are just a big wet blanket right now, so I'm gonna give the win to Tim for making my fanfic come to life.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for joining me, and we'll be back next week for more Decrypting Mr. Robot.